Hi guys, Lisa here. Today I have a tutorial type of deal for you. I did this technique a year ago when I made Christmas cards and they turned out pretty cute if I say so myself, but I did not have YouTube back then, so I thought I could recreate these cards and give you a tutorial on how to do this technique. And when I'm talking about a technique, I'm talking about making dual colored paper. It's exactly what it sounds like. One piece of paper with two colors, and it can be really cute. For example, Christmas cards. So I will be doing a winter wonderland Christmas theme, but of course you can use any colors that you like. It's completely up to you. The technique works the same way. Also, a quick shout out to Skillshare for continuing to support this channel, and let's just get right into the tutorial. Let's go! Okay, so since we are using two different colors, we will need to prepare two different pulps. If you want a full tutorial on how to make the paper pulp and all the materials you will need, you can find the tutorial linked here and in the description. I'm dividing my pulp into two piles. You want to have both sides be as identical as you can, so I would suggest making the pulp in one batch and then dividing it, opposed to making two different batches. The colors I'm going to be using is white and blue to go for a snow outside vibe. So one of them I can already set aside and then start coloring the other one blue. For blue, I am going to dye it with the butterfly pea powder that I used in my color changing paper video to add a little magic to the cards. I'm adding the powder to a pan, then boiling it with some water so it's liquid enough to spread it through the pulp, and then mixing it in as well as I can. You can do the same with other type of dyes. You can do this, for instance, with acrylic paint or even food dye or red cabbage, as I heard from a lot of my comments. If you don't want to use dye, you can also make a pulp with just one color paper that you then recycle into a pulp. You can then ignore my batch divided into two comments. Once all my dye is mixed, I'm setting it aside to let the dye sink in for a few hours. Once you are ready to start making paper, you want to get two similar containers. You want to fill the two containers with the same amount of water. Like I said, in order to make the paper as smooth and even as possible, you want to make the situation for both sides the same. So now you want to add the pulp to the water. I'm making cards, so I want thick paper, so I'm adding a lot of pulp. I'm starting with two large handfuls, and then I do the same thing with the blue pulp as well. I then get my mold and deckle, and you want to decide which direction you want the gradient to be. Then you want to make sure the pulp is floating in the water, and then you scoop with your mold and deckle to where you want the color to be. In this case, I go a little below halfway. Then you let the water run out, flip it around, and go to the next color. Then you do the same thing, you let the pulp float in the water, then scoop the other half, making sure you overlap just a little bit. You want to overlap to make sure the middle also gets enough paper pulp. Then you take off the deckle and transfer your sheets to a cotton cloth. The card is thick, so there's a lot of water, so I'm using my sponge a lot to squeeze out any excess water. And make sure to put the excess water into the container with the blue, the darker color, to prevent the white from becoming not so white. Then I lift off my mold, and that is all there really is to it. I'm also going to do this with my dual mold and deckle, which are the perfect size for cards. So I scoop half with one color, flip it, and scoop half with the other color. That's it. Here you can nicely see how thick I am making the cards before transferring it to a cloth. You can genuinely do it any direction that you want and however you want it to be divided. You do always want to scoop from the light color to the dark color to prevent any contamination, same with the excess water from your sponge. Other than that, once you have the basics down, there's a lot of space to experiment. Then once you're done, you hang them up and let them dry overnight. The next day, here they are all dry. I didn't mix the butterfly pea powder enough, and there are some clumps of powder in the paper that became these blue splodges, but let's call it an aesthetic. This wouldn't normally happen. You can then just peel the cards off of their cloth like so. You'll notice with some of them that they fold quickly in the middle, which means that there wasn't enough pulp in the middle and you didn't overlap enough. Sometimes even worse, like here, the pulp didn't even reach all the way to the middle, so definitely make sure you do that. It's also good to know that the size of the cards won't be the same. The blend might look straight on one side, more wavy on the other, or higher and lower. It's so unique to every card and every side, which makes this so cool. Now there's a lot you can do with this paper. Larger pieces of paper you can either cut or fold to turn into cards if that's something you want to do. But before I turn these into some fun cards, let's have a quick moment to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. If you don't know what Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes by creators for creators. There are no ads, you can just pick a topic that you're interested in, like illustration, graphic design, or even productivity, and just start learning. There are classes for everyone, no matter what skill level. I'm currently following the class by Jessica Swift, Daily Art Practice for Self-Care, 14 Days of Messages to Yourself. Here I'm learning to use art to express myself rather than just to focus on a technique. There honestly is a class for everything. And now the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial Skillshare, so go and find your creativity. Now let's get back into it. So we can generally do anything with these cards. For instance, you can use stamps on them. I have this great silver ink pad, so I can add a little name card or a cute little Christmas tree. I can also add a little happy holiday stamp here. How adorable. If you want, you can also use the card horizontally and maybe add a larger print or stamp on one side like so. Of course, you can also just write on it. These cards are thick and will hold ink pretty well. And of course, they're still magic cards, so I can also add some cute little pink magic hearts. There's generally so many cool things you can do with this technique. This is just one example, but use your imagination. And there you go, dual colored magical Christmas cards. I hope you liked the video. If you try this yourself, please tag me. I would love to see. You can tag me on Instagram and TikTok at nevermindlisa on both. You can also follow me there if you want to see more of me. And if you want to see more of me on here, don't forget to subscribe and press that bell notification so you get notified for any new upload. If you have any questions, you can comment them down below. I'll try to answer as much as I can. And for now, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye! Hi guys, Lisa here. Today I have... Hi! Stuck in my necklace. That works, I guess. Let's go! Let's go!